Assalamu alaikum people. Today is Wednesday the 8th of January 2020 and this is a follow-up video since the assassination of General Qasem Soleimani. Well, Iran strikes back and it's targeted two American air bases, one of the biggest air bases in Iraq and also one in Kurdistan somewhere. Both of these air bases have been visited by President Trump. I think the last visit was in December 2018. Anyway, the Iranians responded. They're saying that they've basically fired at least 15-16 missiles at both bases. None of them were intercepted. So we need to start asking questions about the interceptors and stuff like that. You know, all their shields that they've been selling to all the countries around the world, making them believe that, you know, these shields would actually protect them. Yet none of these missiles were intercepted by America. America assassinated General Qasem Soleimani, may Allah be pleased with him, on Friday, Friday the 3rd of January at 1:20 a.m. in the morning. Iran retaliated on Wednesday the 8th of January at 1:20 a.m. exactly the same time, and they then buried General Qasem Soleimani after the retaliation. After they had confirmation that all the missiles had hit the intended targets, that's when they buried him. They laid his body to rest. Now this is going to open up a whole can of worms now. Is America going to respond? If so, how? And we already know that Iran will respond. Now we're just waiting for reports to come out and find out how many soldiers were killed, what's the damage there, the casualties. You know, we need to know numbers and stuff. American Trump has turned around and said that, you know, all is well, all is good. Let's hope there's no casualties, because that's going to be another backdrop on him. That's going to backfire. Because how can he say all is well if they've had some casualties? We know there's structural damage. We know this plane's been damaged. But Trump has declined to respond until later on today, which he's going to do. Now, just before we move on from that, I just want to just bring up something. When Iran was attacked, when Soleimani was assassinated, none of the Western countries condemned the strike by America. None of them. They just declined to comment and basically just pushed Iran to not to take any hasty steps. Yeah, but now Iran has responded. Britain, our puppet government, has started threatening Iran. Germany has started threatening Iran. And slowly, more and more of them are going to start coming out to condemn Iran. But hello, I don't understand. Is this world so illiterate, so dumb, that it cannot see that one country has assassinated the top general of an elected government in another country, a friendly country to America, and nobody's condemned them? But out of this whole situation, what they need to understand is, yeah, America has to leave the Middle East, and so does the Western world. They have to leave it now. They can't stay there any longer. It's not going to be safe for them. It's not going to be worth it. And they're doing all this for Israel. I don't understand. I don't understand. So that's one thing. And a Ukrainian passenger jet crashed in Iran today. All 179 on board have lost their lives. That's sad news. Don't know what's happened up there for that, unless the Americans have shot it down, thinking that it's a drone or it's an attack coming from Iran. We don't know. That's going to come out. But I want to come back to the Iraqi Prime Minister. Basically, straight after this fake story, fake news coming out from America, where Soleimani was about to target some American troops, and that's why they had to assassinate him. The Iraqi Prime Minister come out and broke the story, where he turned around and said, listen, no, he's come here with a letter from the Supreme Leader of Iran to tell Saudi Arabia, come on, let's sit on the table and let's de-escalate the situation here. Now, what's happened is, from what my thinking is, that what's happened is Trump's basically called him and told him to turn around, invite Soleimani over so he can discuss these things on behalf of America. And then once they've invited him over, these guys have assassinated him. So if that is the case and there's proof of it, they need to do an investigation. And the Iraqi Prime Minister needs to be held accountable for that. He is as equally to blame if he knew that this was going to happen, and the Americans have insisted on Iraq inviting Mr. Soleimani over to Iraq and then assassinated him. So they need to look into that. But the bottom line is, the bottom line, what it comes down to is, what goes around comes around. Now, these Western countries, they all need to understand, and even all the countries around the world, they all need to understand that those days are over where you can, let me use an example. Basically, you've got someone who's got no weapons, no nothing, and you've got him against the wall, and you're torturing him, and you're beating him, and beating him, slapping him, punching him, stabbing him, and he's still got some life left in him. It's going to come to a point where, if he can't go back because he's against the wall, he has to throw something back. They have to do something back, and now that is the stage. Now Iran has opened up, this new order now in the Middle East, where they've proved to the world that America is not as tough as it makes it sound. Israel, is a real reason for this assassination, this whole panga going on in the Middle East. But what did Israel turn around and say? What did Netanyahu say? He goes, oh, don't bring us lot into it. It's got nothing to do with us. When the reality is that everything was done because of them. This should be a lesson to everyone, all the allies, Israel's allies around the world, that when it comes to push and shove, man, these guys will walk away and leave you alone. They will leave you alone, and they will turn around and back off and say, this has got nothing to do with us. So Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, all these places, they need to understand, even Western countries, they need to understand that when the going gets tough, America and Israel will just walk away. Now, coming back to this base, one of the biggest bases that was attacked, two bases were attacked. One of them was Islam.